Texas. It's week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. With my good friend Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we have arrived at another new season. I had a little more pep in my step this morning. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And down he goes just shy of the 25. Now a penalty marker is down. Let's see what that's about. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. When that field position after the return wasn't terrific, it's not a great starting field position as well.
They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 13 yards on the game's opening play. First down. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll push his way forward to about
This is the weight loss medication that blows his left out of the water. But there was a new medicine called tirzepatide. And in tirzepatide's clinical trials, they found...
Hey, this is Dr. Brandon. Today's question is, let me analyze the case of also is featured in the Netflix docu-series Order Among the Mormons. Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, or respectfully about could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoy this video, please like. James Bible. Forgery was supposed to be a transcript of a scribe named Martin Harris, who worked for Joseph Smith, the founder of LDS, a very important figure in the church. It's accurate. He was also working on another idea, something called the McClellan collection.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try to throw now. Brissett. And this is going to be caught.
If the Latter-day Saint missionaries have ever chatted with you about our faith,
Marked as a 27-yard pickup. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
they're so cute.
You have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage.
They're so cute.
That's a big-time play right there.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 35-yard line.
They're so cute.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Piano. I think it's insane that you look so much like your dad when I carried you for 9 months, Ryan. Look at Mom when I'm talking to you. I think it's just crazy.
They do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end. He's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield.
They're so cute.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Piano. I think it's insane that you look so much like your dad when I carried you for 9 months, Ryan. Look at Mom when I'm talking to you.
Going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans.
They're so cute.
Start there, the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason season is officially over.
Yeah, no. I think it's insane that you look so much like your dad when I carried you for 9 months, Ryan. Look at Mom when I'm talking to you. I think it's just crazy.
This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Brissett.
What is wrong, Joe? No.
Target made good and gathered for you, helping you save on tasty berries frozen at peak ripeness, ready whenever you need them. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made good and gathered for you, only at Target.
All right, here we go. It's hour 2. Been waiting for this for a long time. Live in Los Angeles, it is the herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Thanks for making us part of your day. I used to have a relationship at the other place with David Stern, the late great Commissioner David Stern, who was the boss of Adam Silver. And it was always funny because he would join me during his lunch, and he was always eating during the interview, which I made sure he knew, that I knew. But the interviews were feisty and fun. I know him because Matt Painter and Purdue.
College players. In fact, we had a program called Team Ignite that Condoleezza Rice recommended we create. There was an NCAA commission, and you'll recall pre-collectives and NIL money. President Obama criticized us, and then the NCAA had a commission and said there should be a track, a pro track.
And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
It's pretty much become the norm when we
Right
see
now,
guys
we
come
play in the
out
G League. We want those players to develop. So, I think there's a misnomer.
To see the exact same thing happen in practice.
I would want to.
He really is, and it's not. That told me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
A good pickup there, a 22.
I would want to. But the league sometimes, to protect the small markets, let's not worry too much about that. Let's just let players move. Because the sense that it ruins the league or creates a competitive balance outside of LeBron, it really doesn't. Most of the great teams in this league historically have always been draft and develop, build a core, and then add, sprinkle in some good players via trade.
His top speed on that one, better than 20
I don't think it's an accident that we've had 6 different teams over the last 6 years that have won championships. System for a 30-team league.
I'm going to throw this at you. I said this the other day about the aesthetic of the NBA. It's a bit homogenous, a little cookie cutter.
Competition in every market, and that in terms of from a television standpoint too, that whether it's Oklahoma City, whether it's San Antonio, whether it's Salt Lake City, that those teams are in a position when well managed be the same way the large markets can. And by the way, it's not just money. Players choose markets based on climate, taxes. Some like big cities, some like small cities, but I think on balance, this is a much better system for a 30-team league.
I'm going to throw this at you. I said this the other day about the aesthetic.
I think we just got to be careful. Like, the one thing I want to do is, I don't want to sort of knee-jerk move the three-point line. We've gone from, I always tell the story, like Bob Cousy, who, he's around 95 years old, still stays in touch with me. And he'll call me after watching a game and say, I'm so frustrated because the commentators think that what these players are doing, let's say from 28 feet or 30 feet, and seemingly just flicking the ball up with their wrists and swishing these three-pointers, that somehow that's easy. He said the skill level is incredible. But he'll also say, I think we all want to see.
They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Being sort of platformed up by loud voices, or does the league look at this and think, our middle-class fans, they go to one game a year. They're not corporate stupid.
Science, I think it's
defense. We'll see. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. gun. Here's Brissett. Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
Are you saying Tanner Gilliam?
Getting this one up to about the 35. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
A new king has arrived.
And his throw is incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 30.
My gym coach got this and quit meal prepping. Salmon with dill ranch sauce, shrimp with bacon alfredo, spicy orange pulled pork, and countless more. They cook in 3 minutes in the microwave, and I liked them so much. I had to get...
The date is March 29th, 1987. The Pontiac Silverdome erupts as over 93,000 fans witness a clash of titans at WrestleMania 3. Raymond Fernandez, known to the world as Hercules, emerges from the curtain, his imposing physique glistening under the arena lights, steel chains draped across his muscular frame like the ancient Greek hero whose name he bears. His opponent, Billy Jack Haynes, awaits in the ring, but what transpires next will cement Hercules as one of professional wrestling's most formidable forces. The match ends in a double countout, but the true brutality begins after the bell. Hercules, unleashing his notorious rage, wraps his chains around Haynes' throat, crimson streams painting a violent canvas across his opponent's face. The coup de grace comes as Hercules locks in the dreaded full Nelson, Haynes' bone finishing move, a final insult to injury that leaves the Portland strongman broken in the center of the ring. This moment, this display of raw power and calculated cruelty, epitomizes the golden era of the World Wrestling Federation, when larger-than-life characters like Hercules dominated the landscape of professional wrestling. Yet behind the chains, behind the Greek-inspired character and the superhuman strength, lay a story that would end far too soon. Ray Fernandez, the man who brought Hercules to life, would leave this world at just 47 years old. Another tragic tale in an industry known for its premature farewells. But before we delve into that Oliver Humperdinck's stable, after a dramatic steel cage stipulation match that saw a race injure Humperdinck, Hernandez's time in Central States came to an end. In early 1983, Fernandez toured Japan with All Japan Pro Wrestling before returning to America to join Jim Crockett Promotions, where he teamed with Jody Hamilton as the Masked Assassin 2. The duo competed at the inaugural Starrcade, defeating Rufus R. Jones and Bugsy McGraw. But Fernandez's tenure as an assassin ended when he was unmasked by Jimmy Valiant less than a year later. Transitioning to Bill Watts' Mid-South Wrestling, Fernandez adopted another masked persona as Mr. Wrestling 2, before eventually reverting to Hercules Hernandez and engaging in feuds with stars like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Following success in Devastation Inc. and Championship Wrestling from Florida, where he became a double champion, his tenure ended controversially after a fight with Wahoo McDaniel, leading him to Puerto Rico's World Wrestling Council. But Vince McMahon's expanding World Wrestling Federation soon came calling, and Fernandez made his debut in November 1985, under the guidance of the iconic, classy Freddie Blassie, quickly stepping onto the national stage at WrestleMania 2. Where he faced Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in a hard-fought loss at the Los Angeles Sports Arena. Following Blassie's retirement and a storyline sale of his stable to Slick, Fernandez, now without his legendary manager, found himself struggling to gain momentum within the Federation's competitive midcard. In late 1986, Hercules' career took a pivotal turn when his contract was sold by Slick to the devious Bobby the Brain Heenan, marking a reinvention of his character. Shedding the Roman gladiator-inspired attire, he adopted a more fearsome persona, carrying a steel chain to the ring and showcasing a dramatically enhanced muscular physique. On November 29, 1986, at Saturday night's main event, Hercules faced heavyweight champion Hulk Hogan in the most significant match of his career. Though he impressively locked Hogan in his Hercules backbreaker torture rack, the champion's resilience prevailed, and Hercules was ultimately pinned in a battle that solidified his place among the Federation's elite performers. During this same time period, Hercules reignited his long-standing feud with Billy Jack Haynes, rivalry that had spanned multiple promotions, including earlier encounters in the Federation. To intensify the animosity, Hercules adopted Haynes' signature full Nelson submission hold as his own finisher, with Heenan brazenly challenging Haynes to escape it. On Wrestling Challenge, the tension boiled over, and Haynes, frustrated by Heenan's stalling, shoved the manager, only to be ambushed by Hercules with a clothesline and trapped in a vicious full Nelson. This explosive encounter set the stage for their earlier mentioned clash at WrestleMania 3 in front of a historic crowd of over 93,000 at the Pontiac Silverdome, where a double count-out brawl spilled to the floor and culminated in a brutal post-match attack, with Hercules using his steel chain to leave Haynes bloodied. The feud ultimately culminated weeks later in a savage chain match, where Hercules emerged victorious, securing his dominance in their bitter rivalry. In early 1988, during an episode of Superstars, Hercules confronted the Ultimate Warrior in a moment of raw power as they engaged in a dramatic tug-of-war over Hercules' steel chain, which snapped in the middle. While the commentators credited the Warrior with the feat, Jesse Ventura insisted it was the combined strength of both men, further stoking the rivalry. The tension culminated at WrestleMania 4, where their grudge match ended with Warrior escaping Hercules' full Nelson, reversing the momentum and pinning him in a controversial finish that highlighted both competitors' brute strength. In the fall of 1988, Bobby Heenan sold Hercules' contract to the $1 Million Man, who claimed to have purchased his own personal slave in a brazen display of arrogance. Outraged by the notion, Hercules rejected the transaction, declaring himself owned by no man, and turning face in this heated feud. At Saturday night's main event, Hercules triumphed over the $1 Million Man's bodyguard Virgil in a symbolic battle for his freedom, though tensions remained high. The feud carried into Survivor Series, where Hercules' distraction led to the $1 Million Man's elimination, but not before his gloating cost him against world champion Randy Savage in a perfectly timed roll-up.
This January is out.
Flavorless nutrition, out.
And riding the weight loss roller coaster, out like crazy.
Because of Community
Next up, Hercules engaged in a brief series of matches against Haku. Although he defeated Haku at WrestleMania 5, his quest for the Federation King title remained unfulfilled, and his career stagnated. Reduced to a stepping stone for emerging heels like Earthquake and Kurt Hennig, Hercules was easily overwhelmed, with Earthquake crushing him at WrestleMania 6. In the summer of 1990, Hercules embraced a heel turn, aligning with Paul Roma to form the formidable tag team Power and Glory, guided by the cunning Slick. Their rivalry with the Rockers reached its peak with a decisive victory at SummerSlam, and they even targeted the World Tag Team Championship, held by the Hart Foundation. However, their momentum faltered at WrestleMania 7, where they were swiftly vanquished by the Legion of Doom in under a minute. After Roma's departure from the Federation, Hercules found himself relegated to a supporting role, losing to a slew of prominent talent such as Jim Neidhart, Big Boss Man, Sid Justice, and even Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart. While he endured a respectable 40-minute run in the 1991 Royal Rumble, his performance in 1992 was cut short in less than a minute. His final televised match, a crushing defeat to Sid Justice at Madison Square Garden, saw Hercules endure a swift powerbomb and a 3 count, only to defiantly no-sell the assault, dismissing the match and storming off to the locker room in frustration. After 7 years in the Federation, Fernandez transitioned to World Championship Wrestling, before making his way to New Japan Pro Wrestling as Hercules Hernandez, where he formed the Jurassic Powers with Scott Norton, winning the Tag Team Championship and competing in prominent international tournaments. Fernandez continued to wrestle in various promotions before retiring from the ring in 1999 after a global career spanning several independent circuits. Sadly, though, the relentless toll of the wrestling lifestyle would ultimately take its devastating course, as Fernandez tragically passed away in his sleep on March 6, 2004, at the age of 47, with heart disease listed as the likely cause, potentially exacerbated by years of steroid use. His premature death cast a shadow over his legacy, particularly as he left behind a wife, Debbie, and 7 children, further deepening the sorrow of his loss. Raymond Fernandez may have left us too soon, but
All right, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season, so let's take our first trip around the NFL.
What's circulating online? How much do I don't know if you know this.
Hosting Tennessee, and it's the Colts who have the lead in that one. Deshaun Watson has thrown a touchdown pass.
I'm done.
From there, it's off to North
Just
Carolina.
way too much
Check on the
dreams.
Panthers at home
Seeing
in
younger
Charlotte.
Christians like
And they
looking at
lead
me,
the
and
visiting
it's got
Saints
to a
in
very
that
dark
one
place.
at halftime. Christian McCaffrey, a touchdown run in that first half. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals.
Eddie Guerrero's daughter
And
go to
they
Las
trail the
Vegas.
visiting Chiefs in that one. Patrick Mahomes has thrown a touchdown pass. In our game is Jacoby Brissett, who's led the way on offense in the first half. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game.
Get 50% off on mini price pizzas when you order online. This week only at Domino's. Hurry up and order.
Big Pharma doesn't want you to know about this. Chiropractors, they're getting nervous because this breakthrough device could be putting them.
Having to deal with all of this stuff for months and months and months on end, then less men are going to be as brave, or less men are going to have that courage to stand up and fight for what's right and take back what's been taken from us and make a difference, because we're watching everybody that does it get pushed into the dirt.
Yeah, it's to ruin the reputation too. Like, oh, Andrew Tate's a sex trafficker. Now, I even have friends that used to be Tate fans, but now they're not Tate fans. They're like, oh, he's a human trafficker. It's like, yeah, so they did this and they said these things about him just to ruin his reputation. So people are like, oh, I don't want to associate with the Tates. He's a human trafficker. That's the entire reason that they even did. I kind of burned through a bunch of my questions. If there's anything else that you want to talk about, now is probably the time. But I think we can wrap it up pretty soon here. It's been a W combo. Everybody in the chat say W. This has been a really good podcast. Kaylee, it's been great to meet you here too.
Thank you. I guess the last thing I'll say before I leave is, well, one, thank you for giving me the platform to come and speak my mind and come and share a little bit of myself with everybody. And two, I want to encourage you to keep doing this, because I'll tell you, when I was your age and I was in high school, there were a lot of boys your age that were just reckless and crazy and not making those steps to better their life. And I see you doing that every day, and that's such an admirable quality. So please just keep doing that and keep working towards your goals, because you will get there. And I believe that very soon, or in the near future, that if you keep busting ass, that I'm going to see Tristan.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
He came in and he read his paperwork and he said he was a child molester. You would have to kill him or you would get him. That's how it was. I'm the haunted.
If you were so...
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Instead of 4th down after the incompletion, it'll be 1st down, roughing the passer.
Coaches love their defenses to be aggressive, but they want them to be smart as well. Have to leave the quarterback alone at a certain point.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. Got an extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
From the gun, David. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. From 8 yards out. And the Texans have taken the lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side.
When I need quick, delicious meals during the week, I'll order Tempo by Home Shop.
Sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually it means that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Oh, baby. 2024 was packed with intergalactic adventures, mind-blowing escapades, and long-awaited adaptations. Now, the year is over, but worry not.
2025 and 2026 are bringing everything from intergalactic adventures to never-before-seen superhero teams. Star Trek Section 31, January 24th, 2025. Paramount Plus dropped the official trailer for Star Trek Section 31 at CCXP in Sao Paulo, Brazil, giving fans a first look at Michelle Yeoh's return as Emperor Philippa Georgiou from Star Trek Discovery. In the trailer, Georgiou gets an unexpected visit at her space station. "What are you doing in my space station?" she asks, only to be offered a chance to dive back into some galaxy-sized action. Her cheeky response, "What a cute idea." Clearly she's game. The movie sees Georgiou joining Starfleet's Secret Section 31 to help protect the United Federation of Planets while confronting her past mistakes. Film's cast includes Omari Hardwick, Casey Roll, Robert Kaczynski, Sam Richardson, Sven Wigdroth, Humberly Gonzalez, and James Hiroyuki Liao, with Miki Martineau playing a young Georgiou. Directed by Olatunde Osunsanmi and written by Craig Sweeney, the film also features an impressive production team, including Alex Kurtzman and Michelle Yeoh herself. Stream exclusively on Paramount Plus in the US and internationally where the platform is available. Captain America Brave New World, 14 February 2025. Sam Wilson's Captain America is taking flight on the big screen with Captain America Brave New World for stepping into Steve Rogers' shoes in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Anthony Mackie will lead this new chapter. Co-written by Malcolm Spellman, the showrunner for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and directed by Julius Onah, who directed The Cloverfield Paradox, the film is being described as a paranoid thriller. The plot sees Sam tackling a global crisis involving sleeper agents and a sinister mastermind, with hints pointing toward Red Hulk, the monstrous form of Thaddeus Ross. Played by Harrison Ford, taking over from the late William Hurt, Ross is also the newly elected U.S. president, making his transformation all the more complicated. The story will also introduce Adamantium into the MCU, with the metal linked to the remains of the Celestial Tiamat. On the villain side, Tim Blake Nelson is back as the leader, while Giancarlo Esposito steps in as Sidewinder, leader of the Serpent Society. The cast also includes Liv Tyler returning as Betty Ross, Danny Ramirez as the new Falcon, Carl Lumbly reprising his role as Isaiah Bradley, and Shira Haas as Sabra, a former Black Widow. The Electric State, 14 March 2025. The Electric State is a sci-fi movie based on the 2018 graphic novel of the same name. The story follows a young woman searching for her missing brother with the help of a robot who claims to know where he is. Together, they journey through a dystopian wasteland set in an alternate version of 1994. The film has generated a lot of buzz thanks to its powerhouse team. Joe and Anthony Russo are directing, working with Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the same creative minds behind Captain America the Winter Soldier and Avengers Endgame. On screen, it stars Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, alongside a stellar supporting cast, including Cave Lee Kwan, Stanley Tucci, Giancarlo Esposito, Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, and Brian Cox. Coming to Netflix in March 2025, The Electric State is reportedly a massive production, with rumors suggesting a budget around $320 million, on par with Infinity War. Whether it can match the impact of such a blockbuster remains to be seen, but with its star-studded cast and creative team, it's shaping up to be a must-watch sci-fi adventure. Minecraft, April 4th, 2025. The wildly popular game Minecraft is finally getting its own feature film in 2025. Directed by Jared Hess, who did Napoleon Dynamite, the movie marks the game's leap into the big screen world, though details about the plot and how it'll incorporate the game's iconic lore are still unknown. What we do know is the film has a stellar cast. Jason Momoa from Aquaman is set to lead, while Jack Black will reportedly play the game's iconic character Steve. Joining them are Jennifer Coolidge from The White Lotus, Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows, Kate McKinnon from Barbie, Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, Emma Myers from Wednesday, and Danielle Brooks from The Color Purple, with Brooks and Black teaming up for a musical number. Mickey 17, 18 April 2025. Mickey 17 is an upcoming sci-fi film based on a novel with a...
Dr. Levitt, I've had my gallbladder removed. What does that mean for my liver health?
So what are the posts coming?
The super intriguing premise. The story centers on a man who signs up to be cloned as an expendable worker, essentially dying and being reborn after each iteration. But when one clone survives, it throws everything off balance, leading to some wild and unpredictable consequences. The movie stars Robert Pattinson in the lead role and is directed by Bong Joon-ho, the mastermind behind Parasite and Snowpiercer. With a gripping story, Pattinson's talent, and Joon-ho's brilliant direction, this film promises to be a standout sci-fi experience, offering something fresh compared to the usual franchise blockbusters. Thunderbolts, May 2nd, 2025. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is packed with superhero teams like the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Fantastic Four, who are even getting a new movie in 2025. But now, Marvel's shaking things up by bringing in their first-ever anti-hero squad, the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts cast was officially revealed during the 2022 D23 Expo, and it's loaded with big names, leaving little room for unexpected returns. Julia Louis-Dreyfus leads the team as Contessa Val, with Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. Wyatt Russell as John Walker, U.S. Agent, Anna John Kamen as Ava Ghost, and Sebastian Stan returning as Bucky Barnes. The cast had a shakeup in 2024. Ayo Edebiri and Stephen Yeun were initially announced, but later exited. Geraldine Viswanathan stepped in for Ayo's mysterious role and appears in the trailer. Meanwhile, Yoon's reported role as Sentry was recast, with Louis Pullman now confirmed in the part. The trailer for Thunderbolts is out, but the plot is still mostly unknown. What we do know is that the film follows the anti-hero team taking on government assignments. Pretty vague, right? But honestly, that's typical Marvel. They kept the whole Spider-Man reunion in No Way Home a secret for ages. The trailer does give us a look at the team in action, but who they're up against is still a mystery. Elio, June 13, 2025. In 2025, Pixar is hitting a big milestone. Just days after the movie's release, the studio quickly gave the green light for a sequel, confirming Megan 2.0 would bring back writer Akilah Cooper, who stars Allison Williams and Violet McGraw, and director Gerard Johnstone. Joining the cast this time are Ivana Sakno from Ahsoka, Tim Sharp from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Aristotle Athari from Hacks, and Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. Brian Jordan Alvarez and Jen Van Epps are also returning as Cole and Tess. While the plot for the sequel is still under wraps, the first film left a hint that Megan might have survived as software moving between systems, suggesting she could get a new body and some fresh dance moves in the next film. Producer James Wan spoke to Empire magazine, saying the first movie came out at a time when concerns about AI were rising, and they plan to dive even deeper into the AI world in the sequel. Jurassic World Rebirth, July 2nd, 2025. While the first Jurassic Park movie was inspired by Michael Crichton's popular novel and directed by the visionary Steven Spielberg, the franchise has grown far beyond what either could have imagined. With both the original trilogy and the Jurassic World trilogy adding major twists to the story, now the dinosaurs are roaming free, creating a whole new set of problems. Jurassic World Rebirth will explore a world that's changed forever, set 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion. Scarlett Johansson, with plenty of sci-fi experience, will lead this new chapter in the Jurassic World saga. The film is being directed by the talented Gareth Edwards, known for genre-defining films like The Creator, where he pushed the boundaries of what AI-focused movies could be. The Fantastic Four, July 25th, 2025. The Fantastic Four is one of the most iconic superhero teams, but unfortunately, their movie adaptations have often fallen short. Now that they're part of the MCU, we're all hoping for a film that blows expectations out of the water. While details about the plot remain unknown, aside from the fact that it's set in an alternate universe's 1960s New York, we do know who will be playing Marvel's first family. After years of speculation, Marvel Studios unveiled the cast on Valentine's Day 2024. Pedro Pascal will take on the role of Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby will...
Ready to test your knowledge? Let's go. Question 1. Which app lets you earn money instantly for playing games, answering surveys?
The Texans send the punter will play Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn will star as Johnny Storm, and Evan Moss-Bachrach will portray Ben Grimm. The film will also feature Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer, Now minusing as Galactus and Natasha Lyonne, John Malkovich, and Paul Walter Hauser in undisclosed roles. Taking the director's chair is Matt Shackman, who previously helmed WandaVision, replacing Spider-Man director John Watts. Tron Ares, October 10, 2025. When Tron first dropped in 1982, it completely changed the game with its groundbreaking effects and vision of the future. But when the sequel came out in 2010, with improved technology for cleaner and smoother visuals, it didn't quite hit the same mark as the original. Now, a new sequel, Tron Ares, aims to take things to the next level. Tron Ares has just revealed a fresh light cycle design and from the digital world. The Predator franchise has been celebrated as one of the... Sully permanently became San Diego Comic-Con event. But with the Russo brothers now taking the reins, Patton may work on a different Marvel project. A report from Deadline revealed that Avengers Doomsday could feature over 60 characters, making it one of the most Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, July 26th. The film will serve as a key test for how the DC Universe handles lesser-known. The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping.
And the tackle going to be made right there.
And Dr. Ball.
Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively.
Just read what you see on the cue cards, okay?
So I was scrolling on TikTok and I came across this buff grandma. She said she got buff from doing this one thing, so obviously it stopped and watched the video. Yeah, and she kind of comes away.
Eluding the pressure right. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
I'm trying to think about it. I'm never seeing good financial aid or something. I would have that shit. Yo, that's the dude from ATM. That's what they doing the way. See, that was
And that one goes incomplete on the drive. That's one he definitely normally catches. Fourth down. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late game execution. Everything on the line, so it all
Daddy doesn't want to get in.
The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
He's got a man.
He's in the shower.
And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. Brissett, they keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down.
You guys will see the original bad week Bears meeting. They're terrible, and their pitcher is Luke Stein, and then they get Amanda Wurlitzer to be their pitcher. Wow, good job on naming. Thank you. And their fortunes change. Tatum O'Neal. Right, Tatum O'Neal. And they're doing a montage later in the movie where she's pitching and they're finally starting to win, and everybody else is playing better because of her. But then one day she has a sore elbow, they got to put Rudy Stein in, the music changes, and all of a sudden the whole team sucks again. That's basically what we've seen the last 2 years. The Bad News Brown. Someone please edit a mashup of that.
Throw there going to be incomplete. One score down. Here we go.
Made a video for the gentleman actually did a Go Radio.
Here's Brissett.
Start off in the 30.
And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And defensively,
Start off in the 30, and then it's just the triple ball. And then girl starts to like be it.
2 timeouts minutes left, so they can stop the clock twice. This one's not quite over yet.
No, and what you're doing on defense, you're going to use both timeouts, obviously. But you've got to call defenses are going to force the issue early, meaning you want that play over fast. You don't want to give them time to dance around in the backfield or run a wide sweep. They'll take off time. Blitz them, put pressure on, make sure that play ends quickly so that you can go ahead and keep moving.
And they take a knee. Now the Titans will use their third and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and 1. And just how they envision the start of the season, kneeling it down, defense can't stop the clock. This one's a winner.
You know what's really strange? I think a lot of people think that the kneel-down practice stuff really only happens like one time a week. The best teams I know, they practice this stuff back in OTAs. They want to visualize winning a game and how great that feels, and they get it.
Yep, and he gets him to 1-0. So Houston's going to come away here with the victory. And with that, our journey begins, Charles. Week 1 in the books. It's going to be a great season.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. It's nice to get a really good game right out of the gate. Preseason behind us. All these games count now, don't they?
Yeah, this is the exciting time with just 1 week gone and plenty of weeks to go. So for the Texans, that'll be a happy locker room as they start the season 1-0. And they'll have another home game next week as the Miami Dolphins come to town. Meanwhile, for the Titans,